They're not the rich and famous. Their profit comes not from the thing they sell, but the good they do. But nonprofit organizations don't get the credit they deserve. Housing the homeless, feeding the hungry, spaying stray cats and dogs, showing kids how to dance and sing, preserving our landscapes and history, teaching literacy to folks both native and foreign-born, helping the adult with disabilities, and the struggling single mom. Nonprofits keep our community connected when all else fails, and we are proud to shine a spotlight on these life-giving organizations to give them more. That's right, Buzz.
All right. I like it. I like it. Welcome, everybody, to our very first Buzz Live. My name is Michael Hemphill. I'm the creator and host of the TV show Buzz that airs Wednesday nights on Blue Ridge PBS, where we feature the great work that nonprofit organizations do and the marketing professionals affiliated with the American Advertising Federation of Roanoke, who donate their time and talent to help these life-giving organizations achieve more buzz. There we go. Very nice. Very nice. It is a joy to see all of you here tonight. Appreciate you coming out to the Spot on Kirk. Thanks to the Spot on Kirk for hosting us. If you are tuning in to our Facebook or YouTube live stream, you've got my man Rob Orthwine here to thank. So Rob, let's give it for Rob.
Hello.
Very nice. Now, when I first launched the TV show Buzz back in 2020, I did not envision myself being the host of the show, the on-camera host of the show. But it was the start of the pandemic. My sponsorship budget had kind of run out, and I was who I could afford. Well, when I envisioned this Buzz Live talk show, my main hesitation was, here I am once again going to be on camera having to carry a show. Well, it just so happens that a few weeks ago, I was here in this space in the Spot on Kirk, attending the birthday party of the founder of the Spot on Kirk, Bruce C. Bryan, who is here tonight. Give it up for Bruce. And I got into a conversation with an acquaintance of mine who not only has a heart for nonprofits as the Vice President of Advancement for the United Way of Virginia's Blue Ridge, she also, more importantly for my purposes, is a former TV host on the very popular show Living Local. Yes. And when this person kind of mentioned, you wouldn't want to co-host with you, would you? I immediately said, you had me at hello. So it's my pleasure to welcome here to the stage, Kianna Price Marshall.
Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you, you all. This is truly full circle as I get to do something that is near and dear to my heart, and that's telling the stories of people who are doing extraordinary things that often don't get the recognition. And so I love to be able to do this alongside you, and it's great. Now, I will say, although I hosted a TV show, a live TV show for 4 years, we never had a studio audience. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, we have a great show for you here tonight. First up, we're going to be speaking with Franklin County NAACP and its work to honor the 70 African Americans from the country who fought for the Union in the Civil War. We also, each night, you can expect a musical guest. And tonight we have Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock, and we'll close out the show with Masterpiece Alliance, which creates community for adults with intellectual disabilities. So,
lovely.
What do you think?
Right.
Get to it?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. Yes. So we had a new Buzz, our TV show that actually aired last night on Blue Ridge PBS. And it stars the Franklin County NAACP and its project called Raising the Shade. And it focuses on the nonprofit's unsuccessful quest to remove a Confederate statue from the courthouse lawn and its efforts to create a new statue honoring the 70 brave black men from Franklin County who fought for the Union in the Civil War. Now, you can watch that episode now on our YouTube channel at Buzz4Good. And here's a little clip. Let's take a look.
I'm hoping that with the monument here raising the shade in Franklin County, that it will literally raise the shade. It will open the door for people to engage in another set of dialogue that basically tells us more about this story, more how we as a diverse people in America fit into this narrative together, how we all contribute to the making of the country. And I think that basically one more public marker like this statue will add to that narrative and be able to open the door for us to have those kinds of discussions.
Perils that these African American soldiers faced on the battlefield, even just in that initial act, many of them managed to escape from enslavement in order to go and join up with the Union forces. So the bravery, the sacrifice, and really the commitment to American values and ideals, I think, is on such full display in the stories of these African American soldiers. If we're not going to commemorate these stories, then what is worth commemorating?
Please welcome to the show Eric Anspaugh, the president of the Franklin County NAACP.
There we go. We're good?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well,
Y'all
Eric,
hear me okay? All right, good.
Eric, welcome. Now, I feel like we got to address the elephant in the room here. All right. So, you are the president of the Franklin County NAACP. NAACP standing for National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Now, white is a color, right? But I don't think it's talking about the advancement of white people. So how does a white guy get to be president of the Franklin County NAACP?
That is an excellent question. What I want to begin by saying that I think a lot of folks don't know that the NAACP is an interracial organization. It was actually founded in 1909 by a group of black and white people working together around racial issues. Now, how did I get to be president? Yeah. Well, in my retirement, I began to spend more time studying racial issues, reading as much as I could, reading about oppression, reading about injustice. Black Lives Matter during that time was big. I just wanted to know more. I was just real concerned about the racial issues that we still face in this country. And so I joined the NAACP, as did my wife, Bev. And a few years ago, we sponsored a candidate forum, and I was part of the committee that helped plan for that. And I guess I did something right because that forum went so well, working with another members of the NAACP, that they tapped me 2 years ago to be the president, and I said, okay. But it has been a wonderful journey. I've been president for 2 years. They just now voted me in for a 2 more year term, and that's how I got to where I'm at. And I'm excited to be working with sisters and brothers of all colors, all different. Yes, just it's a great place to be. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you. Yes, good applause. And before you go, Rob, I want to make sure, could we get the slide up there on raising the shade so that people can connect if they would so choose?
Well, in this current climate and under this current administration, we're hearing a lot of the 3 letters DEI, diversity, and equity and inclusion. What do you say as the leader of your local NAACP to anyone that's concerned that it's just being eliminated, or what can we do as a country to ensure that we do have diversity amongst our churches, amongst our businesses and organizations?
I appreciate that question. I was reflecting on that with on the latest issue, dealing with the fact that with the current administration, there's an attempt to roll back DEI in so many different ways. Diversity, equity, inclusion includes a lot more than just racism or sexism. It has a lot to do with abilities for people to have access to certain materials. DEI has almost become like if I dare say it, a dog whistle, somewhat like critical race theory, CRT, affirmative action. We had the opportunity, I say we, a group of us from the NAACP and Raising the Shade Project, to speak to a class at Franklin County High School yesterday, African American history class. And I shared that my fear is that we've made some really good progress. We've got a long ways to go yet in this country, but it feels like DEI now has become a dog whistle, and let's just let's just get rid of this language, and it gets people fired up, and I just want to say that there's so much more to diversity, equity, and inclusion than just those three initials, if you will.
Yeah. Can I get an amen? Yeah, all right, very good. Rob, how are we doing on time? 2 minutes, all right, 2 minutes. So this project that you've been doing, Raising the Shade, yes, it started out as, could we please not have a statue on the courthouse lawn dedicated to the Confederacy, which sought to enslave African Americans in the South? But it now has evolved into a celebration of the county's 70 African Americans who somehow got out of Franklin County, a variety of different ways, and went and fought for the Union during the Civil War. And there will be a statue, we hope, later this year that will go up, not like taking aim at the Confederate statue on the courthouse lawn, but somewhere close by that will celebrate these individuals. What is your hope with that statue?
Our hope is that it's not seen as a counter to the Confederate statue on the courthouse lawn, but it is seen as a piece of Black history, unknown, unspoken history that everybody needs to know, that needs to be brought to the forefront. And it will be a monument that will not only celebrate those 70 United States colored troops, 69 soldiers, 1 sailor, born in Franklin County, but it's going to continue to be an evidence of this country. If it hadn't been for those men and those 200,000 USCT, the Civil War might have gone a different way.
Yeah.
And we really have something to celebrate. This monument in Rocky Mount, Franklin County, will be the first monument of its type in the state of Virginia.
All right.
We're excited.
Right. Excellent. 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 Well, Eric Anspaugh and Franklin County NAACP, thank you so much for being here tonight at BuzzLIVE. We appreciate all the work you're doing to make our community a better place.
And I appreciate you both very much, and thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
Give it up for Eric. All right, well, as we mentioned earlier, we have a treat each Thursday that you can expect here on BuzzLIVE, a musical guest that will join us here on the stage. So put your hands together for our first guest of our first show. Make some noise, please, for Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock.
Yeah.
If you're having a good time, say yeah. Y'all can do better than that, right? Yeah. Make some noise for BuzzLIVE. The song's called Relief. Who needs some relief, right? Went up in there for relief. Make some noise for Eric Stachowski on guitar. Winner circle somehow went from the figure 8. Now add 8 more, focus and get them figures straight. Measure of a man ain't all about a fan base. Free base or sugar high, so the crash is all they chase. What goes up might give them all a little taste. And if your dumpster's full of fantastic thing to waste, finesse, use a full ride to brush the pain away. Cause it don't make sense shadow boxing in the shade. Dreams within reach, hearts trampled by cleats. We swelter in heat, we upgrade, try to be steep. Being a deep definitive with speech unlimited seems derivative or become new catch the feeling. It's me, every syllable, every line, every rhyme. A lazy boy with a laptop still can't recline. And when I die, bury me in B&D comics. Pay homage to the kid that lived inside and say, we found relief in these pages. Wars wage on low wages, seek the master's throne. I escape in these days, I run away, and all I ask is that you never leave me alone. Yo, we found relief in these pages. Wars wage on low wages, seek the master's throne. I escape in these days, I run away, and all I ask is that you never leave me alone. No. Y'all feeling all right? It's that. Hey. Life Kinda Paul Walker in the passenger passengers. I'd rather drive for all that I'm after. The aftermath I tried, left the epitaph, relapsed to bad habits. Coping with congested patterns, develop patterns. New ideas, needed time to heal. Time reveals, brain scatter, sound like brain matter splattered. Don Cornelius Wall in pajamas against a soul train smashing the canvas. While the chairman of the boards look past you. And no, I'm not your cattle, nor the head on your mantle. Pen release a crack without titans for clashing. Emperor's new clothes, not the same old fashion. To my passion to a world that seemed cold as an icebox. Fakers love me more in the pine box. On that two-face, yeah, Harvey Denton. In the same spot, Harley Denton. Racing stakes on them bloodsuckers. Nonsense since the beginning. Hey, we found relief in these pages. Wars wage on low wages. Seek the master's throne. I escape in these days. I run away and all I ask is that you never leave me alone. Yo, we found relief in these pages. Wars wage on low wages. Seek the master's throne. I escape in these days. I run away and all I ask is that you never leave me alone. No, no, never leave me alone. No, never leave me alone. No, never leave me alone. One more time. We found relief in these pages. Wars wage on low wages. Seek the master's throne. I escape in these days. I run away and all I ask is that you never leave me alone. Hey, we found relief in these pages. Wars wage on low wages. Seek the master's throne. I escape in these days. I run away and all I ask is that you never leave me alone. Hey.
Miss Blaque, Hancock, everybody. Spectacular. Bryan, stay up here for just a second.
All right.
So I first got to know Bryan, 3-4 years ago at the Roanoke Arts Pop down at the Taubman Museum. And then since then, got to work with him as the Carilion Clinic Artist in Residence, where he works with people of all ages who are suffering from kind of mental depression and other issues like that. He also started Soul Sessions Roanoke, which is another nonprofit that provides a venue for artists, spoken word, poetry, all sorts. Yeah. And I mean, why do you use your talents in the nonprofit space so much? What is it about nonprofits?
Coming from the situation I came from, I just really wish that a lot of the people that poured into me, it's only kind of like a passing thing that we're supposed to do for other people. Because we all have gifts, and it's important to use those gifts. Yep. And it's important for me to explore my brokenness and the things that I'm doing, and writing is something to help me heal. My high school teacher, Miss Clater, told me this is what I should be doing. I had a lot of great influences. I also have my fifth grade teacher, Miss Price, is here. So she's actually... a lot of people poured into me, and so it's about carrying on that tradition and figuring out how to do it better, because we're all supposed to be evolving with purpose, so that's what I like to try to do.
Beautiful message. Well, you're clearly talented, as we just saw here within the last couple of minutes, and talent was definitely celebrated this past Sunday with the Grammys. Now, I'm not a big award show viewer, but this past Grammys was a lot going on. What stood out to you the most in terms of most surprised or shocking moment?
I loved seeing the tribute to Quincy Jones. That was beautifully done. And then my hero, I got to see him play again, Stevie Wonder. I actually got to see him a few months ago, which was a beautiful night. It just seemed like everybody brought their A game and was just, unapologetically themselves as far as performing. We live in a time where artists, we need more artists. And we're going to see it now, especially with the things that are going on in the world we live in. And so artists have a more power than I feel sometimes even than a politician.
That's right.
To basically share. And, sometimes we learn so much more from our brokenness than somebody who is just going to be up and just kind of running their mouth and not being able to heal people. If you're not in the business of healing and being teachable, then you need to be out the way.
There you go.
Love it,
There
love
you go.
it.
All right. All right.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your gifts with us tonight and always sharing with others, and beautifully so. Give it up, and thanks once again, Bryan Harvest, Blaque, Hancock.
All right. Well, we're going to go from one Bryan to another Bryan, and that is Bruce C. Bryan, the founder of the Spot on Kirk, as well as the president of 5 Points Creative, who has provided the marketing buzz on so many of my TV episodes. So, Bruce, you're serving at the bar maybe some marketing cocktails. What you got?
So, hey, nonprofits, to achieve the greatest success, customize your messaging to fit the situation and integrate storytelling in all aspects of your fundraising. Those stories will help your nonprofits increase your capacity. You'll be able to do more after you raise more money, and you'll be able to carry out the work of your organization. A compelling story impacts the decision process in so many different ways. First of all, the listener can better understand and connect with a passion for your cause. It builds empathy for what you do and for the people you're helping, and it softens the ground for the ultimate ask. Too many fundraisers simply present the facts, ask for the money, and then even when checks are written, wonder why money's left on the table. So embrace the story and tailor it for your own use in your own messaging, in your formal asks, in your grant requests, on your website, and of course, throughout your social media. Stories motivate action. Tell them. Get better at telling them. And then tell them again. All right, Michael.
All right, yes.
I did not cue up Bruce well enough. That is going to be a regular segment called the No Budget Marketing Minute for Nonprofits. So thank you, Bruce.
Yes, thank you. I'll have what he's serving up. All right. Well, our next guest is Masterpiece Alliance, which works to build community for adults and autism, Down syndrome, and other intellectual disabilities.
All right. We just started production on a new episode of our TV show Buzz on Masterpiece Alliance. But even before we got to work on that, they needed a really quick, down and dirty promotional video to highlight a conference that they have coming up. And so I would like for us to play that right now.
Hi, my name is Scott Habeeb, and I am the Executive Director of Masterpiece Alliance.
Hi, I'm KJ Boland, and I'm the Director of Ministry with Masterpiece Alliance.
Masterpiece Alliance is a Roanoke-based nonprofit dedicated to creating community for people of all abilities.
We're creating a community because we're trying to change an unfortunate reality that exists, and here it is.
Just like people with disabilities are too often not included in regular society, they also tend to not be included in the church. People with disabilities and their families attend church at a significantly lower rate than the rest of society does. And we don't think any church sets out intentionally to make people with disabilities feel unwelcomed. But the reality is there are a lot of barriers, some real, some perceived, that cause people with disabilities to feel that they just don't belong in the church.
So why are we sharing this with you? It's because we know that you and your church desire to change these realities.
In fact, in Luke 14, Jesus says when you have a banquet, you have to invite the marginalized, and that includes the people with disabilities. In 1 Corinthians 12, Paul writes about the body and how each part is so important. But he says that the parts that are often the weakest are really the most indispensable.
So we have an exciting invitation for you, for all of you.
On Saturday, February 22nd, Masterpiece Alliance is hosting a one-day workshop called The Church and Disability, and we want you to join us.
We hope that every Sunday school teacher, staff member, youth group volunteer, lay leader, and parent will consider attending.
This workshop is designed to get us excited about embracing the world of disabilities. It's going to help us change those realities we talked about and help churches in our area become the places of belonging we all want them to be.
Right now, you can sign up for the early bird rate of $40 per person. And for every 4 people your church sends, a 5th can attend for free.
Masterpiece Alliance is dedicated to building a community for people of all abilities, but we'll never reach every single person with a disability. But if the churches in our region very intentionally became places where people with disabilities knew they belonged and had purpose, well, we think that would be a beautiful way to reveal the kingdom of Jesus to everyone around us. So go to masterpiecealliance.org and sign up for this workshop today. We can't wait to have you there.
Please welcome to the show Scott Habeeb, founder and executive director of Masterpiece Alliance.
All right.
Thank you. Excited to be here. You guys are doing a great job for the first episode. All right. Bringing it.
Thank you, Scott, so much. Now, I know that you just didn't one day wake up and decide, you know, I ought to start a nonprofit that provides services for adults with intellectual disabilities. Right. You've shared with me the story of why you founded this wonderful nonprofit. I'd love for you to share it with everyone here.
Yeah, thank you. So the story really is my family, you know, and my wife's an awesome partner in all this, and we've been on a journey that has really a few components to it. One of them is we are the parents of 4 great kids, but one of those awesome young ladies is on the autism spectrum, and so we've lived as parents kind of this journey of a daughter who at times is isolated or doesn't necessarily build friends. We have been part of a ministry, both my wife Julie and I, for about 15 years called Capernaum. It's through Young Life, but it is Young Life's ministry to adolescents with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And it's really for adolescents, right? So then when the adolescence ends, they're maybe 22, 23, there aren't other ministries like this for folks. And then the third piece is kind of similar. I have been an educator in the Salem City Public Schools for 28 years now. I've been at the high school level, and I've watched year after year as some of my favorite students in the whole school graduate and go to nothing. You know, and while they're in school, they have 7 hours a day of friends, and they have teachers who love them, and they have activities, and it's really cool. And then they graduate, and there's really not much there. So we didn't like that. We didn't like that reality that says folks with disabilities, especially adults, are often isolated. So we got some friends together and said, let's do something about it, and that became Masterpiece Alliance.
I love it. Beautiful. This is not on my cookie cards, but I want to know, where's the name come from?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a version of Ephesians 2:10 where it says, "For we are God's masterpieces," and we want our friends, our community members, to know the truth about who they are, that they are a masterpiece. There's no mistakes. God doesn't make mistakes. He creates each person with a unique purpose and in His image. They are all masterpieces. And then Alliance says, hey, we're all together. So we are a community of God's masterpieces. In fact, I'm going to do something with you guys. All right, this is what we do at every event we do, right?
Also not on the cue cards.
All right,
oh, boy.
If one of us says, who are we? The other people say, God's masterpiece. So ready? Who are we?
God's masterpieces.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Awesome.
That's the name.
Oh, right. So I saw a couple of familiar faces on that story,
Yeah.
and great friends. And I had the opportunity to intermingle and socialize with them in a space that I don't think I ordinarily would have. And what I'm speaking of is the Southwest Virginia Ballet. And I was so tickled how Pedro, the artistic director, was so inclusive in making sure that everyone had an opportunity to be a part of a production. And I think that's part of what you're striving to do with your conference that's coming up, is making places of worship more welcoming. I attend church, and I often know, like, even if a baby cries, people are like, shh, somebody take that baby in the nursery.
We want church to be no shush.
Right, like somebody put that baby in the nursery. And so then even families with young kids may not feel welcome. And so I can only imagine if you have someone who cannot necessarily control their excitement or whatever, that might be an unwelcoming space. Beyond just the church and your conference that's coming up to helping people to be more welcoming, what would you instruct us as an audience, as viewers, of what can we do as a society to be more welcoming, be it on your job, be it within places and out to eat? What can we do to be more inclusive?
Great question. So there are a lot of big things you could do. You could join up with Masterpiece Alliance, and we'll give you some great opportunities. Come to our workshop. But really, at its core, it's pretty simple. It's just be a friend. So lots of times, people with disabilities and their families will communicate that they'll meet someone, and let's say you have the disability, I might just look to you. There's an assumption that perhaps I don't know how to interact with you, or you don't know how to act with me. Don't do that. Just smile and say hi. Yeah. That is a powerful thing, just to smile, acknowledge you're a human, I'm a human, you're a masterpiece, and we're going to talk to one another. That is hard for some people at first, but as long as we tell this to folks who want to maybe be with us, they don't know if they can be part of our team and maybe help out. We say if you can be a friend and you're nice, you can do it. If you're not nice, we don't want you around. But if you can be nice and you're a friend, come on out. So I would say to anybody, just say hi to somebody. Introduce yourself and talk as if they are a human being just like you are.
And their age.
That's right.
That's something
right.
I would notice is that, if you're an adult, talk to them like they're like any other adult.
Make a joke. Just talk to them like they're another person and see where that goes.
Outstanding. Well, Scott Habeeb, Masterpiece Alliance, thank you so much for all the work that you do to make our community a better place. And with that, I want to get everybody who was a guest tonight back here on stage. Come on up. Come on up.
It's like the end of Saturday Night Live.
It
That's
is.
Right. That's right.
We're combining two shows.
All right, go for it. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank not just these amazing guests. We also want to thank you guys here in the audience, you guys who are watching at home, hopefully not while you're driving, but if you're at work. And thanks to our sponsors tonight, Friends of the Blue Ridge, which works to build better community throughout the Blue Ridge region, and the Community Foundation serving Western Virginia. And of course, our thanks to our friends here at the Spot on Kirk.
Absolutely. Next week, all right, we're back on this stage, and we will have with us Apple Ridge Farms. And, right. And Healing Strides of Virginia, with musical guest Keith Alessi, who and his signature show, Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me, but the Banjo Saved My Life. So for Kianna Price Marshall, for my man Rob Orthwine working the live stream, and all of you, thank you so much for buzzing with us tonight. Let's get one more song to close us out from Harvest Blaque, and keep on being a buzz for good in the community you hold dear. Thank you now.
Thanks for coming out.
Y'all still feeling good? All right. It was 95, 96, back when Candy Rain was that hit. I had a high top fade back then. That's when she walked in. Down at the roller joint, thick thighs, Bryan, that shorty stayed on point. Her love could be that rap to keep my heart afloat. Had to give her a holler, no need to sit and mope. So I made my move, but she kept an attitude. Still I flow with ways to play it so smooth. Excuse me, miss, no need to be rude. But what can I do to change that stay tight mood? Looked in my eyes and she gazed of wondering. The game I was playing, the plot I was plundering. Nah, no plot, trying to climb the charts. Fresh state of mind, trying to aim at your heart. And with that said, about now I'll depart. No heart on my sleeve, I play this one mass smart. And I do anything for you. Ain't no telling what I do for you. It's true. Ain't no telling what I do anything for you. Ain't no telling what I do for you. It's true. Now, I remember grandma's house, spoon in hand. Couldn't afford Lucky Charms, we had the off-brand. I love Saturdays, cause that was the best. We watched Saved by the Bell to see what Zach do next. Cause Zach was the man, he always had a plan. You a lie and a half if you weren't part of the scam. Later on get cleaned up, get our hair cut at Jack's. Ty was quick to make his joke if you get it in match. He always made you laugh, kept the comedy fresh. Have your hair faded out, and then he asked who's next. After that, hit the mall, fiend for that starter cap. Mom be like, you can get it at Christmas perhaps. We didn't have much, but love what we had. Tired of being broke, but no use being mad. When you got good friends that all chip in, hey, it's like we came to win. And then I do anything for you. Ain't no telling what I do for you. It's true. Ain't no telling what I do anything for you. Ain't no telling what I do for you. It's true. Hey, yo, and say I do. I said I do it all for you. I said I do. I said I do it all for you. Ain't no telling what I do anything for you. Ain't no telling what I do for you. it's true. Ain't no telling what I do anything for you. Ain't no telling what I do for you, it's true. Ain't no telling what I do anything for you. Ain't no telling what I do for you, it's true. Ain't no telling what I do anything for you. Ain't no telling what I do for you, it's true, it's true, it's true.